Well, I'm back for another review, and today's review is going to be Ghost Rider, The Spirit of Vengeance. Now, this film is perhaps one of the most underlooked comic book films I've ever seen. Ghost Rider, Spirit of Vengeance is one of my favorite films I've ever seen in theaters. I love this film. I watch the film every chance that I can get. I think a lot of critics criticize this movie too harshly, and they say a lot of unfair things about this movie that aren't true at all. Is this movie bad? I don't think so. Might not be everyone's taste, but I saw this film in theaters, man. I was hooked immediately. Now, I was shocked that they made a Ghost Rider movie in the first place. I was even more shocked that they made a sequel. I think it was at Buckhead Mountain Grill in 2012. So we were going into the restaurant. I was at the check-in desk, and across the room, in the dining room, was the television. I believe like the Lakers basketball game was on, and then it went to commercial. And during the commercial, they showed a teaser trailer from what it appeared to be another Ghost Rider movie. I couldn't tell if it was another Ghost Rider movie because the TV was back at the end of the dining room, so I couldn't really see it. I was like, are they making another Ghost Rider movie? So after we ate, I went home, I typed in Ghost Rider 2, and lo and behold, they're making another Ghost Rider movie, The Spirit of Vengeance. Nicolas Cage is back. This movie is directed by Mark Neveldine, Brian Taylor. They directed Crank. I believe Jason Statham's in that movie. As far as story goes, it's been 5 years since the previous Ghost Rider movie. Johnny Blaze is going out to Eastern Europe to try to get rid of his curse. Meanwhile, that is happening. You have a boy named Danny. Danny Ketch, I believe. He's a Ghost Rider in the comics. He's being chased by a group of assassins. Him and his mother Nadia, they're trying to evade them. The reason why this has happened because years ago, Nadia, she injured herself in a fiery explosion. And she made the deal with the devil. It's going by the name of Rourke in this one. He's being played by Ciarán Hinds. It's not Peter Fonda. He is not in this movie for some reason. They kind of give you an explanation why to say the devil looks different in this movie because the devil can appear in many forms for some reason. But Nadia makes a deal with Rourke. The deal was that Nadia would be healed from her injuries. But the price is she must give up her son. And the person that's coming to get her son is Nadia's drug dealer, Ray Kerrigan, who's being played by Johnny Whitworth. Ray Kerrigan is also Danny's father. So some interesting family ties and family dynamics here. Idris Elba is in this movie. He's playing the character of Moreau. He is also aware of the deal made between Nadia and the devil. He knows about the boy named Danny, and he's trying to save Danny from Ray Kerrigan and his group of assassins. So Moreau, he finds Johnny Blaze, and he wants Johnny Blaze to become the Ghost Rider to save Danny. Blaze reluctantly refuses because he hasn't been Ghost Rider in 5 years. He doesn't want the rider to come out, but he has no choice. So this leads the Ghost Rider to track down the group of assassins and save Danny. And while he's doing that, Johnny Blaze runs to a familiar foe, the devil. So this movie kind of gives closure to the Ghost Rider saga. I don't think they're going to make any more movies. Ghost Rider, a different version of Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, was an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That was a cool moment to see. But I doubt to see Ghost Rider back on the big screen anymore. I'd love to see a third movie, but I don't think that's going to happen. Nick Cage doesn't want to do it anymore. So this movie kind of serves as the ending chapter. If you're going to end a movie on Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, you're going to end the saga, end the story that they've been trying to tell, I don't mind. So that's pretty much the story. Ghost Rider has to save Danny from the devil and the group of assassins. What I like about this movie, it's darker, it's scarier. I like the Ghost Rider in this movie better than the first one. In this first one, his face was a little bit more pale. This film's face is kind of black. There's more fire around his head. His jacket is ripped up, kind of like the jacket more in the first one, and a motorcycle more in the first one. But you can't get everything that you want. But the Ghost Rider in this movie, I think he's perfect. He does a lot more too. Instead of his motorcycle changing, where it turns on fire, everything that he touches also changes. Like every car that he touches turns on fire. In the scene, he's climbing on top of a bulldozer and mowing down people. That also turns on fire. Or when he touches people, they burn almost immediately. So there's a lot more action scenes with Ghost Rider in this movie. There's a lot more Ghost Rider in this movie. My criticism of the first one is there's too much Nick Cage. Here, I believe they give us the perfect balance between Nick Cage and the Ghost Rider. The villains in this movie are a lot more scarier. I like Ray Kerrigan a little bit more than Blackheart. Wes Bentley's great. Ray Kerrigan, he looked more like a villain. Looked like the guy I would not want to mess with. Like seeing Idris Elba, it provides a nice veteran touch to the movie. There's a lot of action in this film. There's a lot of high stakes, a lot of drama. This movie is very quick as well. It's only about 90 minutes. So Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, man. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Might not be everyone's film, but it's the film for me. 10 years later, I still love it. And I watch it almost every year. So this has been your review of Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. Will Ghost Rider pop up in the MCU? Maybe. But I don't know. So that's a review, and we'll see you all my next review, whenever that will be.